if you want it to be on your computer, you probably have to
change the channel. Oh, yeah.
So we got knocked off the air because the battery in my laptop died out. So like, good day, we're back on. And if you go, well, I'm telling you this like you would be seeing this but not seeing it. But yeah, if you go over to my channel on YouTube, you should be able to get it again. Yeah, there I am. You're slightly behind times there, but it's all good.
Yeah, there's a delay.
But there's somebody special here I want y'all to meet.
Oh, this is the recorded one now.
Where? I'm gonna have to grab big buddy. Okay. So here he is. The one you really wanted to meet. Trent Fowler. And he's gonna play the piano. He's shy. He's shy around strangers. He was adopted by us after we had a very, very mushy kitty named Angel. So it was kind of, it was an adjustment for him and for us because we were used to having this cat. It was just, all over us with attention. And so, is it not there?
Well, it's confusing because there's the one that was live is like a recording now. So I'm trying to find
Maybe it's
I just found it.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, I clicked the wrong. Oh wait, is that it? That must be it because I'm leaning over.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it.
Trent, I thought you were going to play the piano. In the sun. Yeah. Oh man, this is going to be weird. In the sign said, long-haired freaky people need not apply. So I tucked my hair up under my hat, just like I'm doing now. And I went in to ask him why. He said, you look like a fine and upstanding young man. I think you do. So I pulled up my hat and said, imagine that. Me, you. Sign, everywhere a sign. Looking at the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that. Can't you read the sign? That's weird singing it like that, but maybe that'll prevent us from getting thrown out of here. And the sign said, anybody caught trespassing will be shot on the side. So I jumped over the fence and I yelled at the house, hey, what gives you the right to put up a fence to keep me out or to keep Mother Nature in? If God was here, he'd tell you to your face, man, you're some kind of sinner. Sign, everywhere a sign, blocking at the theater, you're breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign?
Do it in loud style.
Hey, this can't you read? You got to have a shirt and tie to get a seat. You can't even watch, you can't eat. You ain't supposed to be here. Sign says you got to have a membership card to get inside.
Oh.
The sign said, everybody welcome, come in, kneel down and pray. I asked around and paid at the end of it all. I didn't have a penny to pay. So I got me a pen and a paper, and I made it my own little sign. I said, thank you, Lord, think about me. I'm alive to do it fine. Sign, sign, everywhere is sign. Looking at the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign? Sign, sign, everywhere is sign. I suppose it's possible to do it that way. I mean, what that has me thinking of was when we saw the Guess Who at Key Arena 2001. I expected to hear all the Guess Who hits, but they also played some Bachman Turner Overdrive stuff, and I thought, well, okay. Oh, all right, this is cool. Who's gonna sing it? I guess I just thought Bert was gonna sing it because he could scream like Fred Turner. Now Randy sang it, and he sang it like, you can see the morning, that I can see the light. Try, let it fly. Oh, you've been out running, now you're waiting half the night. Oh yeah, it was an unplugged version. That's important to throw in there too. So, and it worked. I guess if it's a good song, you can do it just about any way you want it. That's the way you need it. So we used to joke about on stage. Dave Park, the guy we were talking about earlier, he knew the intro to like every classic song ever written, you know. So, and usually he just knew the intro. He knew the intro to "Peace Train" by Cat Stevens. Gosh, now that I'm trying to think of them, I can't. Just name any like classic rock song of the 60s and 70s. He would know. What was that? It was a Styx song. It starts off that way.
You're fooling yourself. You don't believe
I
it.
can't remember what it's actually called. But
I think it's called. Is that the one that's called "Angry Young Man"?
I don't know what it's called.
I'm actually not sure. I feel bad that I don't know.
But he knew that, and he knew "Sweet Home Alabama." Yeah, you know. One time we were down at the Java Jump, not the Java Jive, the Java Jump in Fife. And there was an opening band that was supposed to be there, but they decided not to come. So, like, okay, so they let us set up early, but they wouldn't let us play early. Everybody's got their amps on stage, and they're up there, you know, jamming. And Dave's up there playing "Sweet Home Alabama," and he's playing. And they're like, come up and join us. I'm like, well, I'm the singer. The microphones aren't even turned on yet. Well, these guys decided not to come. So I'm like, well, can you let us start early? We can play longer than 45 minutes or an hour. We can play a lot longer. They didn't want to hear about that. So for 30 minutes, you just had to hear "Sweet Home Alabama." just parts of all these different intros of a bunch of different songs. Just like, now, if you would actually turn the microphones on, I could attempt to sing to some of that stuff, even though we've never rehearsed it. I could go. Saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand. Dog! Sweet home Alabama. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Where the sky is awesome blue. Ow! I think what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to write a book about the history of the band and all the strangeness that went on. I think anybody who's been working as musician for 10 or 20 years could probably put together a pretty good book or DVD or something, because there's all this strangeness that you can't control. And oh yeah, where do I start? Where do I stop? Okay. They used to do an event at and around a place called the Mothership up in Milton. And we got invited to play there one year. It was another thing where they bring a bunch of local bands in, and we probably didn't get paid or anything, but it was trying to be like a 90s Woodstock or something. And I just remember the bass player being especially loud that day, and it's like every song was a bass solo. I can't do it because I'm not a bass player, but
that's when this comes in. Well, that's gonna sound funny on an acoustic.
And every song was like that. Just this loud, ruckus, hyperactive bass. It was like the bass became the lead instrument, even though it's like we've got this awesome guitar player at that time, and I think he's probably wondering, like, well, when do I get a chance to solo? Because the bass player was just like,
the whole night was a bass solo.
It's like every song was a bass solo.
It's what we can do is
he'll probably get mad, but it's the truth. If I never said it back then, well, I'm saying it now. Joe Anderson, your bass playing was out of control. We went through several different musicians in the band who you drove them insane. Now, like we had a terrible drummer named Rob Jones, who was actually, in my opinion, was a really good drummer and a really good guy. But what does the drummer want to do? He wants to lock in to the bass as far as holding down the rhythm. And I remember him telling me, I've tried doing that. I can't lock in with Joe's bass, so I just have to listen to what you're doing on the guitar. And so, well, I'm rhythm guitar, so we were the rhythm section, me and the drummer. And then there was a guy playing pedal steel. He didn't stay with us very long because, again, I think Joe's hyperactive bass playing drove him crazy. And then we got in a guitar player named Adam Finley. He's on Facebook, but he doesn't want to talk to us because he's probably still annoyed that he had to put up with Joe's sloppy bass playing. So this just went on, and there was a couple of guys that came in and they tried to get him to settle down, but it just wasn't possible. That's just the way he played. Though the funny thing is, we would try to record as many of our gigs as possible because, well, I know I wanted to improve. I think most of us wanted to improve. So we'd be sitting there in our apartment listening to the recording, and he would be complaining about what he was doing on the bass. So then, like the next practice or the next gig, he'd be a lot more disciplined. And that's as long as it would last. Next week after that, be back to super hyperactive bass. It's like, yeah. And he kept trying to start his own group. Well, eventually, and he played guitar a little bit too. I think probably the way his group ended up, I don't know if anything really came of it, but he was probably playing both bass and guitar. It's not ever going to be a live band. 3-string guitar, 2-string guitar. Well, it's kind of limiting playing two-string guitar, and I found that out. It's like he couldn't tell you if it was a major or minor chord that he was playing because he didn't know. I don't know. It's 3rd string, 5th fret. It's E9.
He said
so
E9.
I'm kind of sad that it really drove everybody crazy, but we always felt like this guy was our friend. So I guess we put up with a lot, and I guess we thought, well, having sloppy bass is better than not having bass at all. But eventually Jeff got tired of that. He's like, okay, forget it. I'm going to play bass. Now, of course, to add on to that, there was a time when we had 2 guys both playing bass. Oh, okay. Well, okay. So maybe the bass player can just sit out.
I'm just going to sit out.
Well, that was another thing we kept hearing about. There was a couple songs he could not figure out what to do with them. Eventually, he figured out what to do with one of them because we were watching a video or listening to one of our live recordings. And that was probably the first time he'd ever really tuned into what the guitar player was doing. We had a song, have. The guitar player would do this thing on the song. Got a feeling deep inside. Well, the bass player finally, that's cool. I'll do that on the bass. So that became part of the song. The other song, and this is somebody's favorite. He started singing, do. Like, huh? Do. Joe, cut it out. That's not how the song goes. So I don't know if he ever did figure out what he wanted to do with that song, but the funniest, it wasn't funny at the time, it was annoying, but the funniest thing we ever had with him on stage was we were playing a gig at a school now. The other guys that we had in the band, the core of the band, let's just be honest here. The core of the band was myself as the singer and the rhythm guitar player, and Jeff playing bass, earlier keyboards, earlier drums. Anyway, man of many skills. And what was the other thing? And Dave Martin playing guitar. So Dave got us invited to play at this grade school where he worked. They were doing like a fundraiser concert on a Saturday night. Well, all through that, like the hour it took us to set up and then the hour we're on stage, he just kept complaining that he wasn't hearing his bass. Everybody else was hearing it, loud and clear. So during one song, we're all getting into it. It sounds pretty bad in that room, too much echo and stuff, but you know, we try to be professional. You do the best you can. He puts down his bass in the middle of the song. Next thing I know, he's running across the back of the stage with the tambourine. It's like, well, now we don't have any bass at all. Now, you want to respond to any of this, go right ahead. If I'm defaming you, call me out on it. This is the way I remember it. Maybe he's settled down a little bit now that he's older. You know, we've had all kinds of personalities come through this group. Some that were really mellow, like Rob Jones. And then there were some people that were in the group and some that were just friends of the group that you need to mellow out, man. You're busting way too many strings. And the response would be something like, yes, he's busy, he can't do it. The response would be, I am mellow! I am mellow! You should see me in really good days.
Yo! Mac Daddy! That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, Chris's mom asked for a request that I probably can't remember. Young boy named Rocky Raccoon. One day his woman ran off with the hit young Rocky in the eye. Rocky didn't like that. He said, I'm gonna get that boy. So he walked in town and got himself a room at the local saloon. I'm messing this up. Rocky Raccoon slipped into his room, only to find it his Bible. I can't remember the whole thing. Who calls that man? Oh, we could do. Why don't we do it in the road? Someday, maybe next summer, we'll have a white album jam, and maybe I'll actually rehearse for the thing. See, for me, the last few years, the rehearsal has been right there on stage, and at least when I'm by myself. So if I'm by myself and I suddenly get the urge to do a song, I just start doing it. And then if I find out I don't know it, then I stop. Anyway, it is after 6 o'clock now. I think we're just going to stop because I think it's time to eat. And you probably don't care about watching us eat. Misunderstanding, and now that this is true, love is understanding. It's in everything we do. In this generation, in this loving time, in this generation, we will make the world shine. We were born to love one another. This is something we all need. We were born to love one another. We must be what we're going to be. And all we have to be is free.